Okay. So we have understood that is the questionnaire is important for research. Why questionnaire is important for research? One will be the objectivity. Okay. Because in questionnaire, you are assigning the score following the response, that is by the standard procedure. So that is the objectivity. And whatever your scoring, that will be similar to other scoring also. So there is no chance for subjectivity. Therefore, questionnaire is important. Another importance is we can collect large number of data within a small period. So you can collect data from 100 people in a day. That is also possible through the questionnaire. If you administer the questionnaire in group, so you will collect 100 data. Therefore, questionnaire is important for the research. Third point is validity. Suppose there is some research conducted by some other professor or some other author, and you want to test it, whether the model is valid or not. Then you can apply the questionnaire for the validation. Number 4 is efficiency. Efficiency means within a short period of time, you can collect the data and you can finish the analysis and you can present the result also. That is possible. Nowadays, Google form is available. So by using the Google form, you can collect the data. And after that, you can analyze the data and you can present the data. Data means you can present the result. So questionnaire is vital for the efficiency purpose also. This is clear to all of you? What are the points I have mentioned, Mona Lisa?
Sir, first is objectivity. Second, we can collect large number of data within a small period. We can collect data from at least 100 people in one day. That is possible in a group in one day. So therefore, questionnaire is important for research. Third point is validity. We can apply the questionnaire for validation. Fourth point is efficiency. Within a short period of time, we can finish the data. Nowadays, Google Form are available, so we can collect the data and we can analyze the data.
Yeah, we can analyze and report the findings.
Report the findings, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Therefore, questionnaire is important for the research purpose. And questionnaire is important for the applied psychometrics. Why questionnaire is important for applied psychometrics, Shukshiddhi? Can you tell? Hello, Shukshiddhi. What we are doing in applied psychometrics? Shukshiddhi, please you unmute yourself. Okay, Barsha is here. Hello, Barsha. Can you tell?
Yes,
why
sir.
questionnaire is important in applied psychometrics?
Sir, basically applied psychometrics is used in action research. Now, action research is on the spot things which we observe or what we detect. So, in order to detect means to say that we don't have much time to sit, observe, and think, and then plan out the things. So what we have got at that moment, questionnaires would help us to support what we have observed, and then they also help us. They also give us an instant insight for what all things is required at this moment. And with the help of this questionnaire, we can pick up those all action things which is required instantly, and we can work on those things.
Yeah, very nicely. Another important part is questionnaire provides you the level.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whatever your observation, so that observation level, that can be possible through the questionnaire.
Yes, sir.
Any other advantage for the questionnaire in applied psychometrics? Any other advantage? Nimrat, Monalisha, Shukshiddhi. Barsha covered everything.
Attitude, sir.
Monalisha, please.
Measure the behavior, attitude, preferences, opinions of the large number of people through questionnaire. Reach people quickly.
Yeah, through the questionnaire, we can predict.
Predict.
So prediction, that is vital. Always you think about 4 things for your data analysis. First one is the describing the data. Second one, comparing the data. Third one is the classification. Fourth one, association. And fifth one, prediction. So 5 analysis is important. So what are the points I have mentioned, Barsha?
Sir, we should first describe the data which we have collected. We should try to compare the data. maybe if previous statistics is there, we can compare it with the previous statistics and see what is there. Then we should classify the data, how, in what categories we can put it onto it. Then association, we should see what associations are existing or what associations have developed during course of time. And then last is prediction of the data.
Correct. So these 5 things are possible through the questionnaire. Okay. So in action research, you can apply these 5 things. And that is possible through the questionnaire. Hello, Shukshiti, you are not responding. Hello. Okay. Dr. Nimrat Singh, is it clear to you?
Yes,
what
sir.
are the 5 steps? Can
Yes,
you tell
sir.
me again?
Sir, I was thinking of one. I had a question in mind. If you don't mind, if I could ask that, because that is something which bothers me about, how objective this Google Doc data becomes. Because many times now, as psychologists, all the time, online people are sending these little questionnaires, and we are supposed to answer about attitude, values, and something. And they are like forced choices, so there's not too much, you can play around with it. So how, to what extent? And then if it's too long, then it gets very boring. But if it is not long enough, maybe it is not, it's not valid. So it's not objective. So how does one, supposing we have to collect data, ideally, should we be going to the students and collecting data from wherever we can, like a paper pencil kind of thing? Or is it okay to do even Google, send it online and get data? I do not know whether any studies have been done on, if you draw a comparison between physically being available and then collecting data and doing it online. So I was just thinking that, would it affect the result? I think that was something I was thinking about right now.
Okay.
So any
Now
thought
the
on this, sir?
Google form will be used for collection of the data from the reliable person. Okay, that means you know the person very much, and you are collecting the data through the Google form. So whatever the things you have, maybe you have the manual and everything. So that thing you are designing the Google form in such a manner so that you can collect the data. Okay, and that will help you to relate your data with other data also. Okay, so if you want to compare the data, then it will take less time. But if you follow the manual aspect, that means manually you have to collect the data. After that, you have to enter the data.
Correct.
Okay, and that will take some time. And after that, you have to judge whether your data entry is okay or not.
Yes, sir. But my question is, would that take away, would it reduce the objectivity? Do you think that would tamper on the results, on the...
No, you will not collect the data from the people randomly. So, for example, you are sending the Google form in the WhatsApp. And WhatsApp, many people are there. Maybe there is one research group. So there are maybe almost 500 people are there. And out of that 100 people, they randomly give you the data. Then what will you do? You have nothing to do. So that is the major problem. Only thing that is, whenever you want to collect the data, you must tell your respondents the privacy. Number one. Number two, how to respond. So that is vital.
So
And
give them an
the
orientation.
people must be reliable.
Yeah.
Your people must be reliable. I am giving one example. Once upon a time, I did one program in Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Management, Meghalaya. I have given one questionnaire to them for collection of the data. And the students, they have distributed the Google form to large number of people. Okay. And when I asked them, now you calculate the convex alpha, then they told me the convex alpha is at 0.20. Okay. Then I have told them, okay, you do one thing, you just give some code to the respondents who are from the Institute of Management and who are not from the Institute of Management. Clear? And after the coding, I told them, now you take the data only from the Institute of Management students and you do the convex alpha. And then the alpha value is more than 0.8. Okay. Now you can understand the limitation of the Google form. Okay, this is very clear because I have told them in the class how to respond. I have made them clear about all the questions. So the students are well aware. But the common people, they are not aware of the question, the meaning of the question. Therefore, only to satisfy the student community, so they have assigned some score, and that is random in nature. So whenever I collected the data, I always collected data in person, not in Google form.
Right. Or even if we are collecting in Google form, I think what you're saying, sir, is
But
the
nowadays,
orientation.
Yeah.
Is
But
important.
nowadays, I find many doctoral work that is also done by the Google form. Even the many journal publication, that is also they are telling it is in Google form. My point is, okay, if it is a Google form, so you collect the data from the reliable source. If the source is not reliable, your data will be wrong.
Yes, sir. And so honestly, because if the Google form is online on your, on your mobile or something you're filling, there are some WhatsApp messages coming. There are some other extraneous factors that will start interfering with the results. So I'm not very sure how, to what extent, it would be something objective. I don't know. I mean, we do it, But if you want good results, then maybe, more effort or getting it done physically, being present, or at least giving a clear orientation, explaining everything, and then telling them to use the Google form. So it could be like a hybrid kind of thing. You're doing both. You're talking to them and you're giving them time to respond in the Google form, because of course it has an advantage. It goes into your, you get an Excel, it's all ready. The data gets collected in a place. So yes, there are advantages, definitely.
Your suggestion is good. Hybrid form. In the hybrid mode, you can administer the Google form. But be careful, that is, the respondent must be reliable. Otherwise, you will find out not highly reliable data. And then whatever your conclusion, that will be in odd situation. But nowadays, specifically after this Corona period, all the students are in favor of Google Form. That is the main thing. During our time, we personally collect the data. Therefore, we have the clear observation about why the result is this. We can think about it, but nowadays people are using the Google Form. Okay, so where I have left, I do not. So Mona Lisa, where I left?
Sir, 5 things possible through questionnaire in data analysis.
Yeah.
Describing the data, comparing the data, classification, association, and prediction.
Correct.
And you
Now,
are talking about the reliability, source should be reliable.
Yeah. So what do you mean by the description of the data? Or you have collected the data through the questionnaire. Now the question comes, that is, you have to describe the data. So data description includes what? Can anybody tell? Sukshiti, you can write in chat box. What do you mean by the description of the data? Any idea about the central tendency? The mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Okay. So item wise, mean, median, the standard deviation. Okay. And the item total correlation. So all those things will be in the description of the data. Next point, what I have told.
Sir, comparing the data.
Yeah, comparing the data.
Yes.
So based upon your questionnaire data, you can classify the 2 categories of respondents who are at the higher range and who are at the lower range. How do you get? By using the quartile. Okay, so the respondents who are below the quartile 1 and who are above the quartile 3, and you are comparing these two groups by using the t-test, then you can compare the two groups so that comparison is possible. And if you find that is your T is significant, that means individual difference is there for the item or for the total score. Is it clear or any question? Comparison clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, that we do in the small sample size, sir?
Not the small sample. It should be in the large sample.
Okay.
Because you have to compare the two groups. So minimum sample will be 30 per group. So by using the quartile, you can easily find out the two categories of people. So that is the comparison. So that is the internal issue. Of the questionnaire. Okay. Suppose one questionnaire has 20 items and you are comparing each item, that is the high group and the low group. And if you find your result is significant, so you can tell that this item is valid. This item has good discrimination power. Is it clear? If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay. And number 3. What is that?
Classification of the data.
Classification of the data. Suppose you have the large data that you have collected. And you do not know how the responses are classified. So therefore, for the classification purpose, you can use cluster analysis. And that will help you to classify the respondents into different groups. Mona Lisa, particularly for you, when you want to assess the market segmentation, cluster analysis is useful for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That is vital, particularly for your research.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to group the respondents based upon their performance in the questionnaire, there you can apply the cluster analysis.
Yes, sir.
So after clustering, what is the next one?
Next is association.
Association. Association, that is, your questionnaire is measuring some construct, means the abstraction of the concept. And you want to test the validity of your questionnaire. And you have noted there is another questionnaire. That questionnaire is also measuring the similar type of variable. Then you can administer the two questionnaires to your respondents. After that, you can find out whether your questionnaire data is correlated with the other sets of data. Okay, for example, there is one questionnaire that is very famous, trait anxiety questionnaire by Spielberger. And this trait anxiety questionnaire that is highly correlated with the neuroticism of Eysenck personality questionnaire. So in Eysenck personality questionnaire, neuroticism represents the trait anxiety. And in case of the Spielberger trait anxiety, that is very clear about the anxiety trait. Yes, that you can tell that is the concurrent validity. Correct. Shukshiddhi has written concurrent validity. So in this manner, you can correlate, or you can think that the construct that is measured by your questionnaire, whether that construct is in your research, acts as the outcome or the predicted variable, or as the moderator variable, or as the predicting variable, or as the mediating variable, like that. Accordingly, you have to do the correlation. That is vital. Okay. So Mona Lisa, what is the next?
The next is prediction.
Next is prediction. Prediction is most important in questionnaire construction. So through the questionnaire data, you can predict some consequence that will happen in near future. You can predict. So this prediction is vital in questionnaire construction. For prediction, we are using regression analysis. After the correlation, we are using the regression analysis for predicting the outcome. Okay. Now another type of predicting is there. Suppose you have multi-dimensional questionnaire. And based upon that questionnaire, you want to classify the people into two groups. That is, predefine the groups. Maybe you have the questionnaire that is measuring job satisfaction. And job satisfaction questionnaire includes maybe 30 items. And 5 domains are measuring there. And you want to find out through the job satisfaction data, can you predict the employees who are usually absent in the office? Okay. Suppose that is your objective. Then you can do the discriminant function analysis. By using the discriminant function analysis, you can predict. Or in psychology term, suppose you want to find out the personality pattern of different occupational groups. So you have administered CATL 16 PF. So CATL 16 PF data will be your independent variable, and your dependent variable will be the different occupational groups. So by using the CATL 16 PF, you are predicting the occupational groups. And by using the discriminant function coefficient, you can find out that is whether one individual is suitable for specific occupation or not. Okay, so that is another approach. One approach is simple product movement correlation. Another approach is the discriminant function. That is, you are following the logistic regression. Therefore, you can find out that is the questionnaire is vital for different action research as well as for theory development. Now there is another approach, that is the norm. There are some questionnaires, they are following normative approach. So based upon the norm, you can classify the individual under some category. For example, in case of Neo, you will find there is a norm, and following the norm, you can tell, okay, this individual has high open-mindedness, or this individual has high conscientiousness. So following the norm, you can classify the individual. So now you have understood that is the questionnaire is vital, and the questionnaire should have some important characteristics. The first one is objectivity. Second one is the questionnaire should be reliable. Now, related to the objectivity, the instruction should be objective. That is standard objective, standard instruction. Same instruction will be applicable for all the respondents. Objectivity includes scoring. Objectivity includes the norm also. So based upon the score, you can relate whether this individual is within the range of norm or below or above the norm. So this is also the objectivity. So instruction, standard instruction, standard scoring procedure, and standard interpretation. This is important. Next one is the reliability. Reliability covers two things: reliability over time and reliability with respect to internal consistency. Reliability over time, that is assessed by the test-retest reliability, and related to the internal consistency, that is through the Cronbach's-alpha or split-up method or CUDA recursion. Next is the validity. The first one is the content validity. Second one is the construct validity. Third one is the predictive validity. Fourth one is the differential validity. Differential validity is also important. And the next one is the norm. If you think that is through this questionnaire, you want to classify the respondents, you can use the norm. Okay. And the questionnaire for any questionnaire construction follows the 4 measurement scales. That is the nominal, ordinal, interval, and the ratio. So when you understand the characteristics of good questionnaire, when you understand the scales of measurement to be used for construction of the questionnaire, it will be very easy for you to design the questionnaire, not only for research, that is for theory development, but also for any sort of problem-solving research, action research type. This is clear to all of you? Or any question?
So validity 4 types: content.
Content, construct,
Yeah.
predictive,
Predictive.
differential.
Yes.
Construct include 3 things. Construct includes the factorial validity, convergent validity, and the divergent validity. So construct validity includes the both convergent and divergent validity, and also the factorial validity. Factorial validity means you have to do the factor analysis, and then you have to find out to what extent your factors are valid. That is by using the convergent and divergent validity. The content validity is very, very important. That is whether the items are measuring the construct properly or not. So if it is unidimensional, that means all the items are measuring the construct. If it is multidimensional, that means there are different domains. So each domain is measured by the set of items, and to what extent that set of items is related to the domain. This is clear? Or if you have any question, you can ask me.
Sir, what is phase validity?
Yeah, phase validity, that is the initial phase where you can find out the judges, they are thinking that this item is relevant. So it is very much related to the relevant judgment. So it is the judge's judgment about the relevance of the item, whether the item is relevant for judging the construct or not. So that is the phase validity.
Sir, in our questionnaire, we'll do the phase validity.
In your questionnaire, you can do the phase validity, and for phase validity, you have to assess the inter-data reliability also. You have to select the 30 judges, and all the judges, they will judge to what extent your item is relevant or not. For example, one item is measuring recycling. Maybe the 5 items are there. You are thinking they are measuring recycling. So the whether the judges are thinking, that is, they are measuring recycling or not. And you have to give the operational definition to the judges.
Yes, sir.
The only limitation of this is that maybe from the point of view the judge, this item is not relevant, so you have rejected. But from the point of view of the sample, that is the respondent, that item is relevant. So two perspectives are there. One is the perspective of the judges. Another one is the perspective of the sample respondent. I can give you one example. My student, she collected data from the rural bank. So initially, she found very high reliability. Then I suggested her, this is a very good thing. You have noted very high internal consistency, that is good. Now, do you want to do the retest reliability? Then you can collect the data from the same person again. And she collected the data. And I told her, so please do the internal consistency, convex alpha. And she told me, sir, convex alpha very poor. Okay. Then I told her, so why your convex alpha poor? The reason may be the decision of the government of India about scrapping the rural bank. Okay. So when the government decided to close all the rural banks, then the employees have high level of stress, and that has a lot of impact on the data. So the data was ambiguous in nature. Okay. So one must be very serious about the data collection. So this is all about the questionnaire.
So, sir, what should have the researchers done differently? They should have considered this that is interfering or becoming the noise factor, the government change in the government policy.
Yeah. This is a serious issue. Anything it can happen. And in her PhD, she has written this thing also. So the external examiner appreciated her because you have observed the limitation. That is good.
And what was the gap between the test retest?
Yeah, test retest, I think 2 months gap.
Okay. Is that a good, is that a decent time between the
Not
test
recent, it's a long
retests?
back. It's a long back. At that
Okay.
time, Manmohan Singh was the chief minister. Sorry, was the
Okay,
prime
the
minister.
Prime Minister. Okay, okay.
At that time, Manmohan Singh was the prime minister.
Right,
And
right.
he decided to stop the rural bank.
Mm-hmm.
He gave importance on the commercial bank,
Mm-hmm.
and these rural banks, he wanted to close all the rural banks.
Mm-hmm.
And that had impact on the employees.
Mm. So I was thinking of one thing that came to my mind. So when I was last year, the students who did well in class, who got good grades in class, they were almost the last people to be placed. So that was a very big concern for us as, as their professors, that why, if they have done so well, they have been, overall, their grades have been so good, then why is placement so difficult for them? So, I mean, I didn't do any research, but I was trying to figure out, is it that they think they have a higher expectation, or are they not focusing on the job part? They're only looking at academics. So it's like a very silo approach. I mean, I don't expect any answer from you at this moment, but this left me a little confused, that how do we help them? Because it could be very demotivating. After doing well in class, you don't get, you don't get hired in the first few days, and it can be very disturbing because there's class going on. They're in the fifth semester, and they're almost ready to leave the campus. They're not able to pay attention in class. So that was something I was just thinking about. Maybe we'll discuss it at some other point. That what kind of intervention would help? Is there something else that we need to notice and look for, so that we don't have this condition again? Because it can be very demoralizing to a student.
Yeah, I think nowadays higher education is become very costly. So the family members, they are creating a lot of the pressure on the students. That is this type, maybe 2 or 3 lakhs I have spent for you, and I am not getting any return. So that creates a lot of the pressure on the student community. That may develop the demotivation. This is my perception. I may not be right.
Yeah, so we need to think about this, because this is, I mean, we can't do armchair thinking on this. But yeah, it can be very demotivating if students do well and then they don't. So are there different parameters that we set up for academic excellence versus when people apply for jobs, the skills of an interview, and are companies looking? It's also possible that what is their perception? Are they looking for mediocre students? They don't want people on top of the line, because if they're very ambitious people who get hired, maybe then they're on the fast track and their needs would not be fulfilled, or expectations would not be fulfilled in the organization. So companies could be looking for more mediocre kind of people. I don't know. I mean, I can't put my finger at it. And
Yeah,
again,
you
I'm
can do
saying,
some focus group discussion, then you can find out.
yes, yes.
Focus group discussion, then you can find out.
And then boys are not getting HR jobs, girls are more likely to get them. So again, the gender bias that seems to be coming in.
Yeah, that happens in the industry, manufacturing industry. A lot of the risk factors are there. People may not be able to adopt those risk factors. because I personally collected data from the manufacturing industry, that is Bokaro Steel Plant, Tata Steel Plant, Bandel Thermal Power Station. I collected data from there. I have observed what are the actual problems the employees are facing. So I know the problem. But okay, you can conduct the focus group discussion, then you can find out. Okay, so may I close now today? Or anything to be discussed? Anything left? Farah?
No, sir. No, sir.
So I'm closing. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Best wishes to all of you.